Hello, and there's Kira. Ignore the mirror. Ignore that whole setup. Come here. There's Kira. Oh my god. I'm in Canada right now in a totally different place. The Canadian government has allowed me to cross the border, so that is amazing. I get to be with my boyfriend for Christmas, so that is all great. But yeah, that's why I'm in this bedroom that is not mine. There's that hamster stuffed animal, and there's this beautiful lady right here. Over a month ago, I had the idea to do an award show type of deal with my Pan Those eyeshadows. And then the other day, I was just thinking how I actually think it could be a better idea or a more cleaner idea, instead of an award show, doing a ranking of all of my Pan Those eyeshadows. So that is what we'll be doing today. I will be ranking all of my Pan Those eyeshadows, all of the eyeshadows that were in my project, from worst to best. So I thought doing that would answer more of the award show question ideas that I had, which were like, what were the most difficult shadows? What were my favorite shadows? What brand was rolled in the most? I don't know if anybody else has done this before, or if you decide to do this, like let me know and tag me or whatever. And also let me know if someone else has done this before and I'm just not aware. I didn't know the exact number of shadows that I had hit pan on in 2020 in my project until I ranked everything, and I hit 21 pans, which I think is pretty good. Let's begin with the 21st shadow, my least favorite shadow. So slowly we'll go up to number 1. We got Kira's butt in frame, which is very important to me. I'll give a rough reason why I ranked everything. If you know my project well enough, please leave your guesses on what my favorite shadows are and what my least favorite eyeshadows were. I'm curious. My least favorite, the 21st shadow, is from the Morphe Such a Gem palette, which is the Garnet Glam. Not only is it just like a black shadow, it has a sheen that doesn't really pop. You can't really see it. You can see it now, but usually in looks, you can't really see it. It actually looks nice on camera. It took so many uses to hit pan on it, and not even that. It took so many eyeliner looks to hit pan on it. And usually for eyeliner looks, it doesn't take me that long to hit pan. Really dug down in there, and this pan is so deep. Can you see? It looks beautiful, and like black is a useful shadow, but it was really unpleasant. It was an unpleasant experience. The 20th shadow, going along with Garnet Glam and like not a good experience for me personally, is San from the Tribe palette. I was such a baby. This was another one where I just did a lot of experimental eyeliner looks because I wanted it gone. People were giving me compliments, like they liked it on me, but I wasn't into it. I'm not into the dark green. I'm ranking San low because I did not enjoy having it in my project. I like the shadow. It works well. You can see how I'm like, I'm not trying to punch you, I promise. I tried to enjoy it, but I just really did not enjoy working with it. So that's why San is the 20th shadow. The shadow ranking 19th is Kezi, which is Depotted from the Juvia's Place Magic Mini palette. I ranked this, it's not even going to show up on my hand. I ranked it above the others, but still low, because if you remember, I scraped out enough product to hit pan on to mix into my chai shadow from my Pan That palette side of the project, and it worked out. I hit pan on the chai Kezi mixture, so it was really easy to hit pan on Kezi. It's ranked low because it's just boring. Like, it's a cream shadow, nothing really going on. I'm glad it went into my project because it was easy and low stress, but it's ranked low because it's super boring, but it's above these last two because these last two are probably the only shadows in my project that were really unpleasant for me to hit pan on. So 18 and 17 are going to be in the same palette. They're in the Such a Gem palette. 18 is going to be Strike a Pose. This was very early on in my project. Maybe I'm going to change my mind when I swatch it, but the reason Strike a Pose is so low, hi, I just really worked hard to build that up. Main reason Strike a Pose is low, and it's that shadow, is because I have shadows that do a lot better than this. I honestly don't really get why this is one of the big pans. I have other shadows that are gonna be like much better formula than Strike a Pose, and that's why that's low. It's more of a disappointing shadow than anything else. The 17th shadow is gonna be down here. Periwinkle just barely beats out Strike a Pose because it is original shadow in my collection. I don't have a Periwinkle shimmer anywhere else in my collection, I believe. I have a Periwinkle matte, but not a shimmer like this. It's not the best shimmer, but it is unique. This one ranks lower because I have things that are better than it. The last thing about Periwinkle is that it is a cute color. Shadow in the spot of number 16 would be Manifest It from the Chasing Rainbows palette. It was also a difficult shadow for me to hit pan on, but the difference is that I really enjoyed it and like the formula of it was good. I think that's why Manifest It beats out Periwinkle and Strike a Pose, is because the formula was actually really good. I never had issues with Manifest It. I had issues with Periwinkle and Strike a Pose. They take a lot of building up, but Manifest It was always reliable, always opaque, and super bright. It's just low on the ranking because bright hot pink isn't my most loved shadow. I don't think I've even reached for Manifest It after it rolled out of my project. That's a other factor. Like, am I reaching for this shadow after they roll out of my project, or am I just like, oh, thank God? And for Manifest It, it was a big relief when it was out of my project. Sorry, my nose is itchy. Coming in at number 15 is You Fancy from the Morphe palette, which is that shadow. If you remember, in my project, You Fancy was rolled out because it looked too much like other shadow that will be higher up in my list. This was my first pan those eyeshadows, and I really didn't know my own rules for the project, but I decided because of this shadow, You Fancy, rolling in with Thank You Next, which will be, like I said, mentioned later, they were too similar, and I was picking Thank You Next more than You Fancy by a lot. And so I decided to roll it out, but once I hit pan on Thank You Next, I was like, let me just roll You Fancy back in, because I think that's fair. My Libra brain. I don't know why it was important to me that eyeshadows also be dealt fairness. It's ranked above these other shadows because it worked well, but it's also ranked low overall because I know there's another shadow. I think there's actually a few shadows in my collection, my small collection. To me, small. I have a little over 200 eyeshadows. I have like a couple that are better than this one and look similar, like have a similar job. So that is why You Fancy is ranked low, but I did like it. You can see a huge dip. It does take some building up. A lot of these Morphe shadows take building up, and that's why you see a huge dip in You Fancy. So that is number 15, and we are just going to take a short journey up to here for number 14, which is Ritzy Rose. There's Ritzy Rose. My Pan Those Eyeshadows project was so predominantly red and pink, but Ritzy Rose is like a satin, not quite a shimmer. That might be also why I am ranking it low, because I just like full-on shimmers more than satins. But it is like a beautiful satin. It's like a sweet innocent satin. And I really enjoyed figuring out how to use it. I used it often like I would a matte, and it's like a purpley pink shadow. I really do enjoy Ritzy Rose, even though it's not my most preferred texture. In 13th place comes from the Berries and Cream palette from Dominique Cosmetics. For the same reason that Ritzy Rose was ranked lower, Warm Pie is also ranked a bit lower. There's that pan. It's nice, but it's like, the thing is, I love the formula of Dominique Cosmetics. Some shadows are more of a hit than others, but I generally like her formula. It has sparkle that really doesn't mean much to me, and it's not my favorite color either. Like, it's not quite maroon, eggplanty, but not purple enough. It's not that dark, it's kind of mid-tone. I never really wanted to put it all over my lid or anything. It was kind of a shadow that I like had to figure out where to put it. Anyways, that's Warm Pie. In the 12th spot of this whole thing is from the Sweet Talk palette. And my Sweet Talk palette is totally, clearly different. You can watch this video where I make my Pan That palette for 2021, and that is why you see a lot of empty spots in this palette, and there are shadows that aren't supposed to be in here as well. But Work It was in my Pan Those Eyeshadows, and this is originally from this palette. And I have a little baby pan, and the reason it's ranked low as well is because I like the color, but I also just don't. Does that make sense? Work It is a beautiful color. I love that color in general, but as an eyeshadow on me, it wasn't my favorite. I like the formula, but it's kind of along with Warm Pie. It's not my most favorite color on me. In the 11th spot, and I think the easiest as far as number of uses it took to hit pan on it, is Boronu from the Magic Mini palette. This is Boronu right now. Boronu was super easy to use. Oh my gosh. I don't know if you can see too well, like the shine on it. Really cute and just so easy to incorporate into neutral looks and into yellowy looks. These are my bottom 11, and I'm going to put the top 10 on this hand, so we'll see how that works out. Coming in at number 10 is ColourPop's Meteorite single. This is another shadow that was at the very beginning of my project. Meteorite is at number 10 because I just love the color, and it's another ColourPop matte that is just really good. But you can see it's like this corally pink, super cute color. I do love this shadow, and I don't think I reached for it though after it rolled out. I think a lot of the ColourPop mattes kind of, I'm just like, it took too much use to hit pan on, you guys. I need a break. Coming in at number 9 is Shell Yeah, a Tarte shadow from the Be a Mermaid and Make Waves. I always say it wrong. Oh, well, this just fell out. That was like a Profusion eyeshadow experiment. I'm not too sad about that being gone. But anyways, let's move on. I have this at number 9 because it is a cute orangey coppery shimmer. Could use it in neutral looks to make it kind of warm, but I could also use it to be this darker shimmer in orangey looks. And I just really liked it. I guess I like neutrals that can be used in more colorful looks and neutral looks pretty easily. I did use it after it rolled out of my project. Just look at that shine is so nice. This next one is actually pretty surprising to me as well. I thought for sure Meteorite was gonna rank above this one. I remember hitting pan on Meteorite and rolling in like it's hot and being disappointed because I had just worked hard on this ColourPop matte, took so many uses, and I just roll in another shadow that looks similar to it. And that was Like It's Hot, and I think because of that is why I didn't like It's Hot at first. I was over it. I just didn't want to have another matte reddish corally thing going on. But Like It's Hot, along with other shadows that rolled in at the time, Like It's Hot really challenged me in the best way, I think. This shadow, along with others that were around when this was in my project, really challenged me to do more really colorful looks, mixing colors together that I didn't think to do that before. I started to do rainbowy looks because of this shadow and other shadows, and I really appreciate that challenge that gave me. And I think I love the utility of Like It's Hot more than Meteorite because it is a true red. It can be blended out more to be a little more softer, but it starts as this really true hot red. Like this, it's still a little corally, but I just like it. I just like it. And I didn't expect to like it more than Meteorite because on paper I like corals more than true reds, but as a shadow that was within this project that challenged me, Like It's Hot wins. I'll be back. I need paper towels. Surprised I'm still getting good light because the sun is going down. I'm so sorry if it's like drastically different. In 7th place is from my Orangey Glad palette, and it is Rise and Grind. This is amber. Usually there's a pressed glitter in here, but this is amber from, I see Kira. This is amber from the Brown Sugar palette. For similar reasons to Like It's Hot, Rise and Grind is ranked high because I really liked it and it challenged me. It was in my project in the same time period as Like It's Hot, and it challenged me to try to do more rainbowy looks. I also liked Rise and Grind because I really do like orange eyeshadow. I like orange as a color in general, but I really liked doing orangey looks in this project. And I don't think I knew how much of a fan I was of orange eyeshadow until Rise and Grind was in my project. And it's another ColourPop matte that was super easy to work with. Oh, when did that get there? Did I touch my neck when oh my gosh. If you told me that I would rank a shadow like this at number 6, I really would not have believed you. Amongst the group of these shadows, I didn't expect this to be one of my favorites of my project. But it's actually Red Bottoms from Main Squeeze. And that's Red Bottoms, and the reason why it's ranked number 6 is because when I blew this out, just like with this and a few other shadows, it made one of my favorite looks that I had made. I thought I looked so pretty. Here it is. That's why this one's ranked so high, is because of the versatility of it. You have this, it's very deep, but you can blow it out to make this soft look, and I love that. I'm gonna go quick because the sun's going down. Number 5, I knew this would rank high, and I'm glad it ranks high because the other shadows in this palette were ranked so low, and that's from the Such a Gem Morphe palette, and that's Total Goals. This beautiful topper shade. It's so much better than Strike a Pose. I love this shadow as a topper, and that's what this middle row is more intended as. You can see it right there. It's this like light purple, shifty, beautiful lady. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. And I've used it outside of the project after I hit pan on it. I don't think you can see how pretty it is. But I love it. It's so beautiful. It's so much better than the other shadows in this palette. Maybe it's because there's so many eyeshadows that they're pressured to make. There's so many hits and then so many big losses. Total Goals is a hit for sure. Ranked at number 4 is from the Berries and Cream palette again, from Dominique Cosmetics, and it is Honey Dipped right there. Honey Dipped is the one that looks similar to Boronu, right there. That ranked in at number 11, I believe. The reason Honey Dipped ranks so much above Boronu is because even though they are similar colors, they're very similar colors, Honey Dipped is like, can you see the shine difference maybe? There's Boronu and there's Honey Dipped. The texture, I look so goofy. It's like, but honey dipped just goes on better on the lid, and it's smoother, it's more reflective. I love honey dipped. Did I say honey dipped? Yeah. Coming in at number 3 is Thank You Next, another ColourPop single. You can see this big dip. I used it after the project. That's You Fancy. Thank You Next is the one that looks similar to You Fancy, but is so much better. And clearly I like it so much better because it is coming in at number 3. I love it. It's like a duochrome. It's orangey, it's red, it's pinky. It gives me everything. Sorry, I'm getting like shadow everywhere. Like, you see how beautiful that is? I love that like red pinkiness. Kind of orangey shift in it. I don't know how to describe it. I don't know how to explain it. It's just beautiful. Maybe I'll put up from the website how they explain it. Number 1 and number 2, these are my favorite. The light is coming from my laptop, guys. Number 1 and number 2 come from the same palette. You might know which one it is by now. And that is from the Kaleidos Electro Turquoise Futurism 5 Electro Turquoise palette. I always say it out of order. Number 2, I'll just say now, is Shockwave, and number 1 is Tron. This is another case where if you told me I was going to rank a blue teal shadow at number 1, I wouldn't have believed you. So there's number 2, Shockwave, and my fingers are filthy. Can you see how beautiful? I don't think you can see how beautiful Shockwave is. When this shadow first rolled in, I didn't really like it because it was so flaky. With both of these shadows, there is fallout risk. That is a for sure. But once I got used to working with them, especially Shockwave, once I got used to working with Shockwave, I came to really appreciate it. I use Shockwave a lot in the inner corner, on the brow bone, as toppers on its own to like contrast really well with dark looks. I used it after the project. Again, that was important to me in this ranking. Like, did I use it after the project was over? All the ones high up in this ranking apply to that criteria. And the reason Tron is number 1 though is because it was the most surprising shadow for me to fall in love with. If you noticed, I have it featured on my lower eye right now, and that's the only shadow from my Pan Those Eyeshadows that is on my eyelids right now. I used Tron in so many looks. It was a huge feature in my rainbow looks, and it was Tron and Like It's Hot that really challenged me in great ways, and I love the way they look together. I just think Tron is so beautiful, and I will keep using it. I don't want to run out of Tron. I think that's the difference, where with Shockwave, if I run out of Shockwave, that's going to be okay, but with Tron, I really want it to be in my collection on standby for special looks. I think it's the most special shadow that rolled into my project this past year. It's duochromy, it's shiny, it's beautiful. There's so many uses for it, and it's such a standout shadow in terms of color and shine. I'm gonna stop before the sun is completely gone. Kira, wake up! You wanna say bye? Do you wanna say bye? Let me know if you are surprised by anything, or if maybe you have some of these shadows in your collection, and let me know why you may disagree with me. That's totally cool. I might change my mind down the road, or my style might change. Look at how predominantly pink, purple, red. I can't wait to do my next Pan Those Eyeshadows. I already have planned out my Pan That palette. I'm already looking forward to at the end of the year when I do this again, because I really enjoyed ranking all of them. I hope you're doing well mentally and physically. I hope you have good holidays if you're celebrating anything. If you're not, I know holidays this year are crazy. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Don't forget about being kind to others and the Black Lives Matter movement. Next video should be me beginning my Pan That / Those palette / eyeshadows for the year 2021. That is so hard to say. But I'm so excited for that. And anyways, I hope you have a good day. Bye. Goodbye. She's so cute. She says bye too.